So welcome aboard MSC Preziosa. Built in 2011, carrying over 4,000 guests and 1,388 crew. After spending a week on board her for a Northern Europe cruise in January, join me as I tell you my honest review and see if, after my last not so good experience with MSC, I managed to change my mind. It started with Lucy dropping me and my eldest daughter off at the terminal in Southampton, and within 10 minutes our luggage was gone, we were through security, through the check-in and were on board. So quick I think it was a personal best. What a great start. So as we boarded here in the atrium, let's start there. It was a really nice, welcoming area, clean, modern design, and like a lot of other ships, it spanned over 3 decks. In this case, decks 5, 6 and 7. Through the middle they had these really nice sparkly Swarovski staircases, with each step estimated to have cost around about $10,000. At the base of the atrium on deck 5 you have guest services and reception. Now this is where you can get help with any cruise related issues, and I've got to be honest, despite any kind of language barrier we personally had, they were all really helpful. Now even though the ship was nearly 15 years old, I was expecting it to look a little dated and tired, but I have to say it was so well kept, and every time you turned around you saw the crew constantly cleaning. It was absolutely fantastic. On MSC Preziosa, there are 2 main dining rooms included in your fare. The first is the Golden Lobster restaurant, which is set over 2 levels, decks 5 and 6, and L'Arabesque on deck 6, which, to be honest, is a bit of a faff to get to. Now on MSC Preziosa, and I imagine on many of the MSC ships, dinner is served over 2 sittings, so everyone sits down to eat at the same time. Some people love it, some people hate it. Personally, I'm not too fussed either way. We only made it to our sitting once though, which was on the formal night, and when we did, the service we received in the dining room was excellent. So much better than my last MSC dining experience. The only problem we had though, which was why we didn't go more often, was the menu. As both myself and my daughter found it hard to find something that we both liked at the same time. Admittedly, I'm sure if we asked for something different or amended, they would probably have done it for us. But the one time we went, I gotta say, the food and the service were good, friendly and efficient. Now, let's head up to deck 6 and start with the Platinum Theatre at the front of the ship as we talk about the entertainment. The theatre was a huge 2-level venue over deck 6 and 7, and this hosted a variety of performances including comedy, magic, variety acts and shows by the ship's own performers. Now let's be honest, cruise ship theatre performances can be a little hit and miss at times, and I think I saw more shows on this cruise than any other cruise I've been on. The acts that were not part of the ship's company, the comedian, the magician, the variety acts, they were all great and really enjoyed them all. The house performances, they were okay. Some performers and shows were a lot stronger than others, but even then, there was nothing really to complain about. There was also loads of other live entertainment on board. In fact, one evening I walked along deck 7, starting outside the theatre where a performance was going on, through El Dorado, the Green Sax, the Atrium, La Lacanda and the Safari Lounge, all of which had live music playing. Now I suppose because there was so much going on, I never once had a problem finding somewhere to sit, as I suppose everyone was so spread out. On the whole, the live entertainment was good, but again, some performances were a little stronger than others, let's just say. The bars and lounges were all themed really well, and being themed is probably why the ship didn't really look that dated despite its age. The Safari Lounge had decor to match its name. The Phoenician Plaza, where you can grab complimentary snacks or you could treat yourself for an extra fee to a really nice gelato. They also had a bar in there as well as a mini mall that surrounded the plaza offering duty-free shopping. The Green Sax, very green, wasn't a fan myself, but it did seem very popular. La Lacanda, the pizzeria and wine bar, which we didn't use as they had a freshly made selection of pizzas up in the buffet. My personal favourite bar though was El Dorado. This lounge had a cosy, relaxed feel and featured smooth, live music in the evenings. We could always get a seat even when it was a little bit busier. There was also a really nice, stylish staircase that led back down to the casino if we fancied a little flutter. I didn't personally take out the drinks package, so as expected the drinks prices were inflated, but they were acceptable. I paid for a large Heineken, which was 40 centilitres, €7 plus gratuities, which came out as €8.05. Other entertainment consisted of the usual things that you'll find on a cruise ship, such as quizzes, games, dance classes and karaoke. If you like arcades, there was a small one by the casino on Deck 6, as well as Virtual World, which had a couple of machines to play, plus the F1 simulator and the 4D cinema. This was all pretty good, but as you'd expect, all for an extra charge, just like any typical arcade. On Deck 7, you also have the photo gallery and shop. Now this is where you can browse and buy photos taken by the ship's many photographers. Now I was surprised, however, to find that the Preziosa still printed and displayed the hard copies of these photos. It's actually closed at the moment, which is why these black and white photo screens are pulled across, which covers all the photos printed. I must admit though, these days we personally tend to avoid the photographers when we can. Now if you find this video helpful, then please just hit that subscribe button for more cruise information. Thank you. Next up, let's talk shopping. We briefly mentioned earlier about the mini mall that surrounds the Phoenician Plaza. That's where you could get that duty-free shopping. Like with so many other cruises, you'll also have your special cruise deals, or cruise tat. This is usually lined up outside the shops. I'm not really a big fan of these, as all the watches I've bought in the past from these sort of deals have never really worked for very long at all. You can also find other shops dotted around the ship, including the logo shop for your MSC branded souvenirs, or even the Nutella shop for that overpriced chocolate. Now decks 8 to 13 are where you'll find the majority of the passenger cabins, so we'll head on up to the spa on deck 14. The Aurora Spa and Gym is located at the front of the ship. Here you'll find a hair salon as well as the usual massages, sauna and steam rooms for your ultimate relaxation. Within the spa area, there's also a really nice bar area to chill out and unwind. Or if you are feeling active, you can hit the gym, which is right in front of you. This had the usual treadmills, bikes, free weights and even a personal trainer who was available to hire. I must admit I do like to use the gym on board a cruise ship, and as gyms go, it was a little on the smaller side compared to other cruises we've been on, but it did have everything that you might want or need. I must confess though, in the week we were away, I didn't actually manage to get up to use it. In fact, I didn't actually get past that really nice bar area in front of it. As mentioned at the beginning of the video, this cruise was to Northern Europe in January, so cold and wet at times, which meant the indoor pool area, La Playa Preziosa, did get quite busy. It really was a nice area and I liked it a lot. On the upper level there were plenty of seating to sit and watch the world go by, whatever the weather. They also had table tennis tables and foosball tables that were also available and were free to play. Bizarrely though, the water did seem to change colour throughout the week, so if anybody knows why, please let me know in the comments below. The aqua park, which is the outdoor area, was pretty empty during the week except for the hot tubs, presumably because of the weather. So although the pools were open, there were no water jets or anything like that. They had 2 bars by the pool, one was closed but the other was open for the week, as even though it was cold, this was part of the designated smoking area. If you are a smoker, another place you can smoke is also in part of the casino, which was a good size with all the usual gaming tables and machines. The Inca and Maya buffet are the included buffet restaurants as part of your fare. It offers a wide variety of dishes from healthy options to international cuisine. The food itself was pretty good, not the best I've had if I'm honest, but it was still pretty good. They had a reasonable selection of different types of food, and I never really had a problem finding something to eat, or anywhere to sit for that matter. As pizza is one of my favourites, I really did enjoy the freshly made pizzas they made daily. Though technically 2 buffets, the only way to tell where one ends and the other starts is by passing the elevator area. The seating area is a great size, going all the way to the back of the ship, which offers stunning views, making it such a great spot to enjoy a meal. When it comes to specialty dining, personally, we don't normally use them, but like with most ships, there are a few on here. There's the Butcher's Cut, a steakhouse where you can indulge in premium cuts. The Sports and Bowling Diner, where you can enjoy casual dining with sports screens in a bowling alley, although I personally think it was more of a skittle alley than proper bowling. There's also pizza from La Locanda. But as mentioned earlier, you also had the included freshly made pizzas up in the buffet. There was also the Galaxy restaurant, which is a sushi restaurant with some stunning views. And around the corner and in the same room is the Galaxy Club. Now this was a great place for a little late night dancing or even a bit of karaoke. At the very back of the ship was the garden pool and bar. As expected, much of it was packed away during the cold January weather, but I can imagine this being a great place that I would personally enjoy during warmer days, just sitting in the pool with those fantastic sea views or even sunsets. Talking of warmer days, up on 16 you'll find the kids splash park area and a large flume slide that loops back down to deck 15. Again, all closed on our cruise, but looked great fun. On the whole, even though this cruise was taken during January's cold weather and a lot of things were closed, we did have a fantastic time. The cruise itself was an amazing price. Maybe that was all reflected in the price, having everything closed, I don't know. But one thing I can say, even though I have had a bad MSC experience, MSC for me stood for Mind Successfully Changed. And I hope this has given you an idea of what to expect on MSC Preziosa. If you sailed on Preziosa, do let us know your favourite parts in the comments. And if you found this review helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe and check out our other reviews. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next adventure.